Hello and welcome to the Collaboration Tools Deep Dive. I'm going to take you through 3 tools today that will help you set up a virtual office space for your team. Now, this is critical for remote teams, the obvious reason, so they can chat to each other in real time, but also because teams are now going to need to be more self-organized, giving them the channels and the capability to be able to work more closely together is going to really help facilitate this shift for them. So I'm going to jump straight into Zoom, and I'm actually recording this all in Zoom. So that means you can record all the stuff that you do in Zoom too, your team meetings, your daily stand-ups, your one-on-ones, your coaching, really handy. Super easy to set a meeting up. This browser extension I've added in, you click on that, you go to start a meeting, and click with video on, and within 10 seconds you've got a video up and running, a chat up and running, and you can copy the URL, which I'll show you how to do in a minute, and send that to someone, and then you're chatting to them. So really simple. First thing I want to show you though is Slack. So Slack is a great tool for creating that virtual office space for your team, and it's really advantageous because you create very deliberate spaces. It actually helps to facilitate the conversations that your team needs to help them to collaborate and to help them service customers. And I'll show you a couple of ideas that I've put together here. So one is a check-in and a check-out. So when people are coming to start their shift and finish their shift, they can just drop in here and let people know they've arrived or they're leaving, share what happened in the day, share what they're up to later. Great way to build that sense of team, and so you know who's where they who's arrived and who has left. Then you've got an idea here around coffees and lunches. So I might be going on break at 10 o'clock, and I might be thinking, oh, I wouldn't mind having a coffee with my mate Arnie. So I send a message to Arnie, or I might just post in here to anyone else that's on break at the same time. Hey, I'm interested in having coffee with anyone who'd like to join. Someone says, yep, I'm in. I click invite, I copy this URL, I drop the URL in here, and before you know it, once they click on that, then we're looking at each other and we're chatting. Now, if you've got Zoom and Slack on your phone, then you could take this mobile. You could go for a walk and chat. You could sit outside and chat and have a coffee or lunch. So it's really cool. Intraday, I would have an intraday channel where you and the workforce management team and all of the team members can talk about what's happening real time or near real time for customers. So if you need people to be moving around skills or campaigns, share some of the results that are happening. It's a really good place to do that. I would also create a channel or a mechanism for people to be able to put their hand up when they need help with a customer. So whether you create a channel in here or people are just messaging you directly, I would definitely create something, because in a physical space you can hear a call escalating or you can see someone put their hand up. But in a virtual space, that becomes more challenging. But it's really easy to bring that to life by creating a channel. And what I would also do is, rather than try to resolve that through chatting, if someone was to ping the team leader or someone who's supporting the team and wants to talk about a challenging conversation they're having, they've got the customer on hold. Again, they could go in here, create a very quick meeting, send that link to whoever it is they're going to chat to. And then before you know it, you guys are chatting. And I think that'd be really important in these situations, because if someone's feeling a little stressed or overwhelmed by a conversation they're having, being able to see each other's faces will be really important. The person supporting them can provide some in-the-moment support and coaching on how to handle that conversation, and give them some reassurance. And I think doing that face-to-face is way better than trying to manage that through a chat. You could also share screens. So if that person was struggling to find a piece of information, you could do that together, so that they could then use that to, help service the customer. So it's super helpful in that regard. So that's a bit on Slack. Last thing I would do is just your do not disturb schedule. So set that up so that it goes into sleep mode, so that you're not getting pinged with notifications from the rest of the team and stuff that's going on once you finish your shift for the day. So really important to be able to switch off in this virtual remote world. yeah, just really critical that you're not, always connected, because your office is your home. So really important to manage that. So now I'm going to jump into Trello really quickly. You can do team meetings in here. So everyone logs into Trello. Everyone has a login. You create a team meeting in Zoom. You've got someone facilitating, sharing their screen so everyone can see this. But then everyone who's playing at home could be saying, hey, today I'd love to talk about this, or maybe I want to talk about that. And people are dropping in agenda items in here that they want to talk about. You could do that and then co-create the agenda in the moment with your team. You could also, if you're creating actions off the back of your team meeting agenda, you can drop those actions in here too. I've got one that I need to do, which is drink more water. I've allocated myself to that, so all your members of your team will be in here. You allocate those who own the action. You can set up labels. I'll cover that in a later video chat. But you can also set up due dates for these actions too, so you get a reminder when they need to be completed. So that's a really quick overview of Trello. I've covered Zoom. I've covered Slack. Yeah, look, there's really nothing that should hold you back in terms of being able to create, you replicate that physical presence that your team has when they're together in a virtual world. All the things you did physically when you saw people face to face, you can do in this environment, coaching one-on-ones, team meetings. In fact, I think in some cases, because of the very deliberate spaces that you can create, this becomes even more effective in some cases. So that's it for today. I'm going to stop sharing my screen with you now, and yeah, just encourage you to download the guide. I'd love feedback on it if it's helping teams navigate through this tricky time. If you'd like to get in touch, if you've got questions or you'd like some help to get started, you can contact us through the website or just message me directly in LinkedIn. Thanks again, and see you tomorrow.